you're going to want a piece of toasted bread, like soak up all that broth. It's lemony, garlicky, oniony, like the creaminess of the bean, and then the spiciness of the sausage as well. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Crisp by Kristen. Today I'm in the kitchen tapping into my Italian roots by making braised beans with Italian sausage and kale. This is actually a recipe that reminds me so much of my grandmother, who spent a lot of time in the kitchen, because it's packed with the flavors that smelled like her in the best way possible, like garlic, rosemary, lemon, thyme. It feels and tastes like home. I'm using cannellini beans, which is a white bean full of protein, super nutritious, super creamy, and braising it in a broth with a bunch of aromatics. This is a quick, filling, delicious dish, so let's get started. Another great thing about this meal is that everything is done in one pot. So the first thing I'm going to do is start cooking my sausage. I'm actually using a hot sausage, so it has a little bit of spice. It has a lot of flavors and like fennel. Already you're starting with flavor. So you can already start seeing the sausage browning, and it smells so good. Next, I'm going to cook my onions for about 5 minutes or until they're translucent. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt here to make them sweat, add more flavor, and then I'm going to kick the heat up a little bit more with some crushed red pepper. It smells so good so far. You can tell that the onions are translucent and the sausage is really browned. So now I'm going to add in my 2 cloves of garlic. And then you can add your thyme and your rosemary. I'm going to add the kale and really let that start to cook. We are just piling on flavor after flavor. Okay, the kale has been cooking for about 5 minutes now. It's starting to wilt down. So far we added the sausage, the rosemary, the thyme, the crushed red pepper, the garlic, the onions, all that flavor, and all that's left is to really add the beans and to braise it. So I'm adding 1 can of beans and just mix it up here. And now I'm going to add my stock. I'm using chicken stock, but you can definitely use vegetable stock as well. I added about 1 1/4 cup of liquid, but basically you just want enough to cover all of your beans. It's not a soup, so you don't want it to come up too much over the beans. Then I'm going to cover my pot and cook on a low simmer for about 30 minutes. Okay, the 30 minutes are up and it smells incredible. Now look how good this looks. The beans are cooked, the broth has absorbed all those flavors. Last thing I'm going to do is just add some lemon juice, fresh lemon juice to it, because that's going to really brighten up every single flavor. So I'm just squeezing about half of a lemon, and then the remaining salt I'm going to add as well. And I'm going to add a little bit at a time and taste. So the salt levels are to my liking. Now there's nothing left to do other than to eat. All right, I'm going in. In one bite, you get broth that's lemony, garlicky, oniony, with like the creaminess of the bean and the earthiness and hardiness of the kale, and then the spiciness of the sausage as well. So you can eat it like this, or what you can do is a piece of toasted bread to all that broth. And then when you add like a creamy bean on top, and then the lemoniness, I feel like my grandmother would be very proud. At least I hope she would. Can't wait for you guys to try this recipe. When you try it, let me know what you think. Tag me in Crisp by Kristen. If you want to see more recipes like this, make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Crisp by Kristen. Hope to see you soon.